Van Richten's Guide to the Walking Dead was released in 2003. Written by, and I'm probably going to mispronounce his name like I normally do, Roop Livliviat and Ryan Naylor, with interior art by Jeff Holt, Brian LeBlanc, and Talon Dunning, and cover design by Ron Thompson. It is the second guide in the new Van Richten series and is written in the character of the Weatherby twins, with the DM information being in separate box text, so it is good for players and DMs. At 119 pages, this guide covers the corporal undead not covered in the original guides, such as skeletons, zombies, ghouls, waits, and a few others. Chapter 1 covers the necrology of the Walking Dead, their psychology and their physiology, their appearance, how they are created, their mindset, if any, what they want, what they're here for, that type of stuff. Chapter 2, the Obedient Dead, and this is the first category that the guide covers the Walking Dead in, is the Obedient Dead, are those dead that are under the command of some other power. I guess other more powerful undead or spellcaster or something like that. It covers their special abilities and powers. Chapter 3 covers the Hungry Dead, and that's how it sounds, the dead that come back to feast upon the living, mainly ghouls and certain types of zombies and that kind of stuff. And that chapter covers their powers and abilities. Chapter 4 covers the Restless Dead, the ones who cannot rest and for some reason have returned, maybe to fulfill a purpose or something else. And this chapter covers their powers and abilities as well. Now, Chapter 5 covers the general weaknesses of all the Walking Dead. And Chapter 6 covers the necromancers and the spells they use to raise and control the dead. While Chapter 7 covers the ways to hunt and kill the Walking Dead. And of course, all of these chapters include some stories about the Walking Dead as told by the twins in some form or another. Now, the next chapter, which will be the appendix, will cover some new monsters as well as some new NPCs. Now, the first NPC is Ratik Ubel, who's a reverend who seeks justice against his killer. Now, he was introduced way back in the first RAVENLOFT box set, and nothing had been done with him really since then, but he had been brought back for 3rd edition, which I thought was a nice thing. I always thought his character was interesting. He's not good nor bad. He doesn't go out to destroy anybody. He's just trying to find his killer. He's rotting a little bit, but he's trying to find his killer, and if you get in his way, well, God help you. The next one is Tobin the Many, and he can occupy the bodies of several undead. He's kind of like a spirit who can occupy the bodies of several undead. And then there's a bit devoted in the appendix to using the Walking Dead in your campaign. Alright, so if you like the original Van Richten guides, then you will like this one. It's basically the same, just a different narrator telling the stories. Instead of Van Richten, it's the Weatherby twins. And like the guides before, this one goes very in depth about the Walking Dead and can be read by players and DMs alike. It adds whole new levels of depth to what was once thought of as just mindless, boring undead. And I highly recommend it. The Walking Dead arise and meet their match. Risen from graves and misty tombs, foul unliving denizens crowd the graveyards and haunt the ruins of the lands within the mist. Driven by their own insatiable desires or controlled by the powers of others, zombies, skeletons, and other members of the embodied dead prowl the dread realms looking for unwary victims. Now their secrets lie revealed for those with the courage and heart to take up the tools of the hunt. Continuing the tradition of the Van Richten guides, this volume examines the psychology and physiology of Ravenloft's unliving denizens. Within these pages you will find descriptions of their special powers and vulnerabilities, the effectiveness of certain spells on them, and ways to neutralize, destroy, or command them. Included are new variations of creature and a section for DMs with suggestions for gamers that focus on the unfortunate creatures that were once living beings.